You've been told discipline is something you either have or don't. That some people wake up wired for consistency, while you're just not built that way. And every time you fail to follow through, that story tightens around your chest like proof. But here's the part that hurts to hear. If discipline were about willpower, you wouldn't feel this tired. You wouldn't feel this mentally drained from trying all the time. You wouldn't be exhausted before you even start. Because the truth is, discipline doesn't break you when it's working. It breaks you when you're forcing it from the wrong place. And you've been forcing it for years. Think about how you usually try to be disciplined. You hype yourself up. You threaten yourself. You promise a better future version of you that you'll get serious starting tomorrow. And for a moment, it works. Until it doesn't. Because the second motivation fades, everything feels like resistance. Every task feels like a negotiation. Every action feels like a debate inside your head. And eventually, your mind gets tired of arguing with itself. That's when you assume you're weak. But what's really happening is simpler and more brutal. You're trying to control your behavior without changing the identity behind it. Discipline can't survive constant internal conflict. If one part of you wants comfort and another part wants growth, you don't have a discipline problem. You have a loyalty problem. The hardest part is never the work. It's the moment right before. That split second where your brain checks in and asks, is this who we are now? And if the answer is unclear, it hesitates. Your mind is designed to protect identity, not goals. It will sabotage habits that don't match how you see yourself, even if those habits are good for you. Especially if they threaten the comfort of who you've been. That's why discipline feels unnatural. You're acting like someone you haven't fully decided to be yet. So every action feels like friction instead of alignment. You're not resisting effort. You're resisting becoming someone new without permission. And that's where the switch lives. Here's the switch. Discipline turns on automatically the moment you stop asking if you're the kind of person who does the thing and start acting as if the decision is already made. Not emotionally. Not dramatically. Structurally. You don't wake up and decide whether you brush your teeth. You don't debate it. You don't need motivation. You do it because that's who you are. The identity is settled, so the behavior follows without friction. Discipline becomes effortless when the argument ends. When there's no inner discussion. No should I. No maybe later. Just motion. The switch isn't willpower. It's identity certainty. And once it clicks, something terrifying and freeing happens. You stop waiting to feel like the person who follows through and start letting action prove it instead. At first, it's subtle. You notice you're doing things without the usual buildup. No hype, no pressure. You just start, and that scares you a little because you realize how much energy you use to waste negotiating with yourself. You don't feel more motivated. You feel quieter, cleaner, less dramatic inside, like your mind finally stopped pulling in two directions at once. You still feel resistance, but it doesn't derail you anymore. Because resistance no longer means stop. It just means this is part of who I am now. And slowly, trust rebuilds. Not because you promised yourself anything, but because you showed up without needing permission. That's when discipline stops feeling like control and starts feeling like alignment. You don't become perfect. You still miss days. You still feel tired. But the difference is this. You no longer collapse your identity every time you slip. You know who you are now. You're someone who returns. Someone who doesn't negotiate their basics. Someone who lets actions define identity, not moods. And that creates a quiet power. Not loud motivation. Not temporary intensity. But a grounded sense that no matter what life throws at you, you'll move when it's time to move. That's the mental switch. Not discipline through force, but discipline through clarity. And once it's on, you don't need to turn it on again. It just becomes how you live.